This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by the Podcast Reach System. Are you ready to exponentially reach more profitable customers? Launching and hosting your own show is your proven best solution for networking, client attraction, and establishing your celebrity expert brand. Visit www.podcastreachsystem.com and claim your rightful place as the leading star of your industry so you make a difference for your community, market, and audience. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I am your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Kades, who is the founder of TextChat, which is a highly personalized live chat tool that brings the timelessness touch of human connection to the sophistication of artificial intelligence technology. If you're on our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com, you can learn so much more about Eric simply by going down to the show notes. You'll see links to his website, you'll see more of his biography, and you'll see some of the things he's doing. But for now, Eric, welcome aboard. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Adam. I've been waiting to meet you, and I'm super excited about, spending a few minutes and talking about what we do and life in general and passion and entrepreneurship.
Exactly. So the first question is, how does the work you do make the world the better place for your clients, customers, and society at large?
So I had an unfortunate situation happen to me when I was too young and my mom was too young. I lost my mom at a very young age. And that gave me a great lesson in life that time is really our most valuable asset. It's the only one we can't get back. And so really from that point forward, I started dedicating my work life and my life in general to saving people time by creating products and services that do that both for our clients and their customers. So everyone wins in that situation.
Fantastic. So what is it you actually do? Is in what products or services do you provide? Just so our listeners have an understanding of how you can help.
Sure. TextChat is focused on live chat on your website. And what it does is it makes it super easy for any size business to answer people in real time. You're able to answer via text message as opposed to be logging into a computer. And then we have a contact center business as well, that larger clients who need to outsource that solution, we have our agents handle their live chat, social media, inbound voice calls, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and there are so many solutions out there for live chat on websites. And now, just to be clear, is this artificial intelligence or is this human beings, or is it a mixture of the two?
It's a mixture of the two. I believe in AI, but I don't believe that it's ever going to replace human beings. And so we use that kind of technology to get you to a human being. Now, if there's a scenario where a chatbot can answer a question easily and you don't need to speak to a human being, fine. But inevitably, there are going to be questions that bot can't answer, and it's got to get to a human so the person on the other end hasn't wasted their time and isn't frustrated.
I'll tell you one thing I wish that live chat would do, and this is particular to web hosting companies. If the website is down because their servers are undergoing emergency maintenance, when you go to live chat, if they could just whenever they go into crisis mode, where they could just push a button that says, "Okay, put up the service status notice," so that says, hey, there's a web page you can go right now and it'll give all the updates, because most of the companies have them. But you sit and chat for 20 minutes while everybody else is asking the same question, only be told, oh, well, we're predicting 3 hours. You can get this information yourself at any given time.
And I'll tell you even worse. I mean, that's a great solution for live chat or chatbot. It's even worse though, because we have come through thousands and thousands and thousands of websites that have live chat, and over 80% of them don't answer it.
Wow.
And that's a big problem and goes against everything I stand for in my life, because now you're baiting someone to come in with the hope of speaking with someone, and then there's no one there, and they tell you they'll get back to you in 72 hours, or they never get back to you. So that's kind of my mission in life, was coming up with the easier ways for businesses to offer this instant communication.
Yeah, what I hear is you have a bifurcation in place where for some things that don't actually require human conversation, you can script all out in a way that's user friendly. But at the same time, you have sort of like the dial zero for an operator that can then find the person, whether it's through a text application or through a control panel of whoever's monitoring it, says, okay, this one actually needs a human.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Great. I love it. So in your experience, what are 3 of the most common frequently asked questions you get from folks who are working through their process of deciding to work with you?
I would say, what do you do? How do you do it? And, what's my benefit going to be from using your service or your software?
Right. What are a few questions you wish people would ask?
I really wish they would ask why I do it first, so I could go into my speech about saving people time. Like, that's really the most important thing. I also wish, how do we measure performance when, we implement the program? How are we going to show the customer that they're getting the results that we're promising they're going to get? And then I think the last question that I would love customers to ask is, how can we help it be more successful, as opposed to, all right, go do your thing, either fail or succeed, instead of like being involved in the process. I would love to get those questions.
Yeah, I can think of one myself, and normally I don't jump in with one, but I have one, is how can your service make me a superstar for my clients? I'm thinking of the digital marketing firms. I'm thinking of the webmasters. I'm thinking of the virtual assistants. When their client's website goes down, they're the one to get all the questions like, when's it going back up? I have JV partners. I have a launch. I have people going to my podcast and my blog. I can't have my website down. I need you to get on this.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a live chat application on the web host website that could allow them to skip straight to the point, say, hey, is your website down? Check the system status page first.
Yeah.
And if your question's not answered, then come back to us. So that digital marketer, that webmaster, that virtual assistant could click that button and it would say, yes, the server's down. Anticipated time to get it back online is 3 hours. And they go right back to your client and said, all right, I'm all over it. I connected with the web host. They say it's 3 hours. They have to rebuild their server. They had a crash. So I'm watching it. I'm on top of this for you. Meanwhile, all they're doing is clicking refresh, refresh, refresh. But now that client's saying, oh, my people are on this every minute for me. And they're the hero now.
Yeah, and look at how that scenario ruins your life.
Yes.
Waste your time. Like, that's such a simple fix. And people don't always think about their customers that way. They think about themselves first.
Yeah.
And they're not customer success oriented. And, that's really what I've dedicated my life to.
Yeah. This is where we get to have a little bit of fun with this. So we're going to shift gears and ask a few things about you to help our listeners get to know you better as a person. So the first one, this is one of our very popular questions, is what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, that's an interesting one. They would be surprised that I actually understand how software works, because I've been more of a sales guy my whole life, and that also I understand how to manage thousands of people. I've had thousands of employees, but they just know me as Eric, the regular guy they see at the coffee store. So I think that they would be surprised coming to you from my kitchen how many people are working behind the scenes to do the stuff that we do make happen. It's not about me, it's about them.
Exactly. What do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
I was thinking about that, and first and foremost, that I always did the right thing. The proverbial right thing. I try and guide my life that way, that, how would that other person feel in that situation? And how do I do the right thing as a result of that? And then the other side is that I saved millions of people time. Like nothing will go down, it could be on my gravestone. He saved people time.
Yes.
And that will mean more than I made them money, more than anything, that I saved them time, because, money's money. Life and the ability to wake up and breathe is a whole different story. And then, finally, that I just gave back to the world, that I did something positive for the world, that I didn't just come and take from the world, that I actually gave back. And I've been fortunate enough to see the results of doing that and get the feeling that I get from that. And I can tell you, it's a much bigger high than closing any deal, actually doing something for someone else.
Yeah. If you could go back in time and change one thing you've done or one thing that's happened, what would it be and why?
I would say that at too young of age, I worried too much about risk and fear. Like, I should have been out there trying everything, doing everything. And instead I listened to the negativity, unfortunately, that I grew up around, that kind of affected me in my life. And when you're an entrepreneur and people are telling you, no, 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 that can be a stifling, anxiety-ridden, thing that develops. So it took me way too many years to get to a point where I want to take risk, and I'm not as fearful of doing things that I've never done before, like being on podcasts.
Right. Yeah. Or hosting one, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the opportunity, what question would you have for them?
So this is, I'm a unique person in that I happen to know a lot of super famous people. So I have to tell a story. And I've gotten to ask them a lot of questions. And I think for your listeners, this is the most valuable thing that I've ever gotten out of a conversation with a famous person. Yeah. And I use it all the time in my business. And that question is, so I had the opportunity to hang out with Steven Spielberg for a while.
Wow.
Probably the most prolific filmmaker of all time, right? So I asked Steven how he deals with failure. And because not all of his movies have been huge success. Sure. And he gave me a great answer, which was, Eric, my instincts are right about 70% of the time. And I was like, wow, here's the most prolific filmmaker of all time telling me that he's not right all the time, but also telling me that he trusts his instincts, but he's realizing that they're not going to be right every time. So to me, that's just been an amazing lesson in life, because we all inevitably get around people that we think they know it all, and we know that they don't. So whenever I come across those people, very subtly, I tell them this story to get the message through indirectly that, look, not even Steven's right all the time. So you're not right all the time either.
Well, sometimes you do have to just place your bet and be confident that you did the right thing. It's like when I was learning how to play poker, there was this time very early on. My game is Texas Hold'em, and I limped in on a straight. I caught it on the river, and I got edged out by a flush. And I heard people saying, how could you go all in on that? That was stupid. Like, wait, I caught a straight, and you people were folding and checking. I didn't see the flush sitting there quietly that also caught it on the river. Right. What was I supposed to do? So what it taught me is to be confident in that decision, to know that I made the best decision. You don't win them all.
Right.
It's
exactly.
a game.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah. What motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
This goes back to my mom a little bit. My mom passed away from ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, which is a terribly debilitating disease. She lived on a feeding tube and a ventilator for the better part of 8 years. And I watched what she went through, and that had an undeniable positive effect on my life. She's since passed away many years ago, but what that taught me was these little problems and challenges that I think I have during the day are so small compared to what my mom was going through. And so that just propels me through any hurdle or roadblock that comes into my life, because I can just look back at that scenario and draw on that. And it's like, an amazing superpower, because I know that it's not life and death.
Right. So finally, and I know you have an invitation for our listeners, and I will share that with them. But right now, in general, what is one action you would encourage our listeners to take as they wrap up listening to this stream?
I would say respond to your customers quickly.
Yep.
Focus on your customers' needs. When customers are buying something, they have anxiety. They're shopping, we all have purchase anxiety before we hit
submit.
Yeah. So that's where it's an unbelievable thing when you actually provide amazing customer support like the Zappos or the LL Beans of the world. What happens to all of your other metrics? Your cold email starts going through the roof. Your website conversion starts going through the roof. Your revenue starts going through the roof. And it's taking that action to be quick about responding to that customer's question. Going back a little bit to all the panic and anxiety that you experience when the website hosting company is down. Those people aren't focused on relieving your anxiety. So be quick to respond. It's very simple, but the results will amaze you.
We're going to go an extra minute here because I have a really great story. And this is, and you'll probably laugh at this, and our listeners will probably think, oh, there goes Adam, one of his goofy stories. But anyway, this is maybe 15 years ago. And there was a woman I was getting to know, and I wanted to impress her with my knowledge of the shoes she was wearing. So she gave me a picture of them, and I wanted to find out what style they were. So I heard of this company called Zappos where you could call them and ask them any question. So I'd also heard this other thing about Zappos. So I thought, what the hell? I'm just some young guy. I'm going to pull a little prank here and see what happens. So I called up Zappos. They answered. I described the shoe as best I could, and then they asked me to send a picture. So I emailed the rep the picture, and she told me the style. And she said, yeah, as a matter of fact, we do sell this. Here's a link to it. You can learn all about it. And I said, by the way, can you send me a pizza? They did. It turned out that was
unbelievable.
It turned out that rumor was in fact the case. I don't know if they still do that, but I tried it because somebody told me there's this crazy company called Zappos that sells shoes online. If you call them to order a pizza, they'll get you a pizza. She actually took the order for the pizza, collected the money from me, had me pay her, and then sent me the pizza. Now, you may think, what? Why didn't she sell me shoes? Why didn't she get me over to the men's section and sell me some shoes? Well, 15 years later, I'm still telling this story.
Right.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I probably created 10 customers for Zappos. I probably sent 20 people to call there to test the theory, and 10 of them ended up buying. That wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. And they're lifelong customers of Zappos now, like any of us who shop at Zappos. And I'll tell you something. When you look at Zappos' website, right? In the top left-hand corner, it says, call us 24/7, 1-800. Every other website you go to has 15% off, 20% off, 25% off. You don't see any discounts at Zappos. You know why? Because you don't care. The customer service and the support is so good that you'd rather buy it from them than all these other businesses that are slashing their margins because they can't figure out customer support.
Hey, if they would take time to answer a question to help me impress some chick and then send me a pizza, I'm pretty comfortable buying shoes from them.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, look, the problem is, and not to go on too long, but the problem is people look at, especially a lot of people in e-commerce, they're in e-commerce because they don't want to talk to people.
Right.
But the reality is there's people behind that business. And people need to communicate with people to buy products and services. And trying to do everything possible not to do that is not to your long-term, that's not good for your long-term trend and success of your business.
Yeah. Like I personally, I don't answer the phone live unless it's scheduled. However, I spend hundreds of dollars a month on processes that make me possibly one of the most accessible people out there. If you want to speak with me, you can go to any of 7 different places and schedule an appointment, and know in 3 minutes from now you'll be speaking with me on Monday or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So I mean, I'm not in a retail business. I'm in a different type of business where that amount of immediate response may not be required. But I found a way to merge that. I just really don't want to deal with the phone ringing with making myself highly accessible.
And that's what it's all about. People will wait if you can make it convenient for them.
Yeah.
And you focus on doing that. And I'm sure it's helped your business tremendously.
Yeah. I mean, I can give you a feeling in 90 seconds that, Adam wants to speak with me, and I got a date and a time with him, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can give you that feeling in 90 seconds.
Exactly. That's what it's about.
Exactly. So
right. That's my big thing. And hopefully that'll resonate with some of the audience today, that focus on saving people time, your customers time, and watch what happens to your business.
Well, let's wrap up by showing people how you do it. I invite all of our listeners, go to TextChat.com. If you are watching the version of this on our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com, you now see it on your screen. Otherwise, you see it in the show notes. TextChat.com. Go to that website, and how Eric has made it easy for you is you can immediately watch a short video about how TextChat turns website into awesome selling machines with this new communication that's better than the live chat you've seen up until now. You can schedule a demo so that you can get a walkthrough, and there's a live chat application right there on the website. So if you want to put it to the test right now and see how it works, you can do that. So that's how you've made it easier for people to discover you. And I encourage everybody to do that, to find this new view on live chat on websites. And with that, Eric Kades, thank you again. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
Been an honor for me too. Great to have the talk.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.